Hello, everybody. This is Kathia Quiros, immigration attorney. And today we're talking about the public charge and what documents do I need to submit. This is our English show. If you would like to hear these in Spanish, you need to join us at 8:30 in the morning Pacific time for Inmigrando con Katia. It's a daily show. Today we're doing the English version for all of our friends who don't speak Spanish. Today, we're going to talk about the public charge. What documents do I need to submit? And many of you probably are asking, what is the public charge? Well, the public charge is a new regulation that it's in place now by which immigrants have to prove that they are not coming, they're not asking for the green card to live out of the government benefits, but instead that they have enough resources to support themselves and their families. So let's get into our business. What documents do I need to submit? Well, first, you need to know where is that you are filing for your green card. If you are filing inside the United States, you are doing a process called adjustment of status. If you are filing with the National Visa Center, with the Department of State, because you're going to have an interview in the embassy of your home country, you're doing a process called consular process. And why is that important? Because the form that you need to fill out to prove that you're not a public charge, it depends on whether you are filing for adjustment of status or for consular processing, okay? So if you're asking for the green card inside the United States, you are doing adjustment of status, and you're gonna have to submit a form called I-944, I-944. And where do I find these form? You have to go to the website of the Department of Immigration, and which is www.uscis.gov. And once you have that, once you are in the website, you look for form I-944, okay? So that's if you, oh my God, I lost you guys. What did I do? Oh, StreamYard, where am I? Oh, here I am. I'm not very good with computers, as you can tell. But anyways, so you go into www.uscis.gov, you download form 944, you download the instructions, and this form needs to be filled in when you file the I-485, which is the adjustment of status application. Now, let's say you are not filing for the green card inside the United States, but you're going to have an interview in the embassy of your home country, then you're going to submit form DS-5540. And these DS-5540, it's in the website of the Department of State. So what are these forms? Are they complicated? Yes, they are. Are they easy to understand? No, they're not. What do they really want? They really want us, the immigrants, to prove that we have enough money to support ourselves and our families in the United States. And so the first thing they're going to ask us is, what is your name, your address? Where are you from? And the first thing they want to know is, do you have medical insurance? You are getting a green card. You're going to live legally in the United States. Do you have medical insurance? Some of us do have medical insurance. Some of us don't. If you don't, they want to know if you have enough money to pay for your medical bills in case you get sick. So if you do have medical insurance, you're going to have to submit the evidence of your insurance, and the card by itself, it's not enough evidence. You're going to have to submit the policy documents to prove that you have medical insurance. If you don't have medical insurance, but you have the ability to obtain it as soon as you enter the United States or as soon as you get your green card, you're going to have to submit documents to prove that. For example, I don't have medical insurance, but my wife is a U.S. citizen or my husband is a U.S. citizen, and they have insurance through their employer, and the employer will provide me insurance as soon as I get a Social Security number. Then you get a letter from the employer saying that. So far, so good. Are you guys following me? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? If you do, please let me know. I would love to know that you are understanding what I am trying to say. So please interact with me. Let me know that that you are understanding what I am trying to say. Okay, so next thing, what else do they want us to submit? They also want to see our tax returns. And you will say, well, Katia, I don't live in the United States. I am living outside in Mexico or in Guatemala or in Chile, and I am waiting for my interview because my son or my husband or my wife is petitioning for me. How is that you're asking for tax returns? Well, if you don't have tax returns, it's okay. The government still wants to see if you are making money in your home country. If you are at an age where you can work, they still want to know that you have enough resources, enough assets if you are making money. But if you were living inside the United States, they definitely want to see your tax returns. So what happens if you are a housewife or you are not working because you are taking care of somebody? Well, in that case, the government is going to take the fact that you're a housewife or you are working for somebody as a positive factor, and it's not going to penalize you for that, but you are going to probably be the dependent of somebody. So if you are the dependent of somebody, they want to see your name in the taxes of somebody. So you be prepared to show the last year of taxes and to provide information about the taxes of whoever is that it uses you as a dependent, okay? So in general, they want to see the last years of taxes and the information about the last 3 years of taxes. They also want to see the credit report of the immigrant and the credit score of the immigrant. And you will say, well, Katia, I can't have a credit report or a credit report or a credit score because I'm an immigrant. I'm undocumented and I don't have a social security number. Therefore, I don't have credit. Well, sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. A lot of people have credit with their ITIN number, and other people have credit with a number that they invented. Have you heard of that? So those are special cases. And if you are in one of those situations, you really need to talk to an immigration lawyer, because you cannot just say, no, I don't have it. You're going to have to prove that you don't have it. And in order to prove that you don't have it, you're going to have to contact a credit bureau, and you're going to have to provide your information, name, date of birth, and name, date of birth, country of origin. And then the credit bureau is going to have to say this person doesn't exist in our credit bureau. But it's not as easy as that if you do exist with a number that it's not your number, even if it's an invented number. So please talk to a lawyer if that's one of your situations. If not, you're going to have to get a printout of your credit report and your credit score. If your score is a good score, it's going to be a positive factor. If you have a bad credit, it's going to be a negative factor. And if it's a bad credit because you barely have credit or because you don't have credit history, it's not going to be a big deal. But if you have bad credit because you are not paying your debts, because you have filed bankruptcy, those things are going to be taken against you, and they're probably not going to be very easy to overcome. Okay, so we've talked about medical insurance and the insurance policy. We've talked about taxes. We've talked about credit report, credit scores. Then let me tell you, before I moved on into this credit thing, let me tell you what is positive and what is negative, okay? So anything in the credit score, anything over 670 points is good credit. Anything between 580 and 669 has no value. It's neither good nor bad. It's just nothing. If your credit is between 580 and 669, it's just okay. If your credit is below 580, then you have bad credit. and it's a negative factor against you. If you don't have a credit, it's neither good nor bad. It's just okay. But you need to provide a letter from the credit bureau saying that they don't have you in the records. Okay. So let's say that, then let's go to the next thing. They want to know, let's say you don't have credit, or your credit is not good, but it's not because you're late on anything. It's just because you have very little credit history. When in those cases, you're going to have to submit all the copies of your bills, and that you are up to date on your bills, that you are paying on time. And I truly think that this is very important for all of us immigrants. We need to keep track of all of our bills and the way we are paying them, because it's going to make us look good at the time of filing our 944 or DS 5540. So start keeping track of all of your bills. If you are receiving them online, then make sure you print them. If you are receiving them in paper, make sure you keep them. Okay? Make a list of all the income that you received every month. It's either for you through your job, through child support, through alimony, through scholarships, whatever it is that you're receiving. Make sure that you keep track of all your income and all your expenses. And we're going to have to put that on a table, and so we will be able to show to the government that we are responsible people. That's what the government wants to see. They want to see that we make enough money to support ourselves and that we are responsible with our money. So we've talked about the medical insurance. We've talked about what documents we need to use to prove it, the taxes, and the credit score. The government also wants to know if we have assets. What is an asset? Asset is something that it's something that I can sell and I will get money for it. So, for example, I have a house, and if I sell the house, I'm going to get money for it. Then that's an asset. I have a boat. If I sell the boat and I get money for it, that the boat is an asset. If I have a savings account and I don't touch that money is sitting there for months and months and months because I'm saving for something, that's an asset. So all those things are assets, and I should keep track of them too. The government is going to ask us if we have ever filed for any immigration benefit asking for a fee waiver. Fee waiver is when I ask the government not to pay for the process. And normally when I ask not to pay for it is because I don't have enough money to pay because I'm poor. So they want to know if I ever did that. If I ever did that, that could potentially be used against me. If I never did that, it's better. Then the government is going to want to see if I ask for public benefits. According to the forms, they're only asking if I, the immigrant, have received public benefits. Most of you already know that we immigrants do not qualify for public benefits because we don't have a social security card. But there are some immigrants who may be applying for the green card and who may have received public benefits because in the past they have some kind of a status. Let me give you an example. 20 years ago, I had TPS, and I had TPS for 10 years, and I received Medicaid, but then I lost my TPS. Now I'm undocumented, and my son is over 21. It's a U.S. citizen, and I'm asking for my green card. Now, when the government asks me, have you ever received any public benefits? I will say yes. The government is mostly interested in the last 3 years of your life. If you received any public benefits in the last 3 years, that's where they are very concerned. In this case, in the story I just told you, there will be no issue because 10 years ago, it's when the benefits stopped. So if the person received any public benefits, then they will have to show the documents that prove that they received the public benefits. They will have to show the letters sent from the welfare department about what benefits this person is receiving. But like I said, most people are not going to have to answer this question, or they're going to answer no, because they themselves are not receiving any public benefits. even if their wife or kids are doing it, the question is towards the immigrant. Have you, the immigrant, received any public benefits? The answer most of the time is going to be no. Okay. Now, what other documents is the government is asking for? The government is not going to take in consideration that the benefits received by kids under 21 in the household. So if you have U.S. citizen kids and they're receiving benefits, the government is saying that they're not going to take in consideration those benefits. However, I know it sounds too pretty. However, the moment they know that your kids are receiving public benefits, the first question the government is going to ask is, if they are receiving public benefits, must be because you have told the government that you are poor. And if you are poor, then you have an issue with public charge. So it's not because your kids are receiving benefits, it's because you are applying for benefits saying that you're poor. So the most important part here is proving and showing that you make enough money to support yourself and your kids. And that is through your tax returns. So make sure that you're doing your tax returns the right way. Make sure that if you are married, you're doing it with your wife, you're combining your incomes. Make sure that you are not claiming dependents that you don't really have. Make sure that you are doing it correctly. For those of you who don't know about this, I have a tax place, a tax preparation place. Yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm doing this tax preparation place for immigrants and their families. So if you want to know more about this and you want to do your taxes correctly, the information is underneath. It's info@futurotax.com. The name of my place is Futuro Tax, and we do taxes for immigrants and their families. So let me see. We talk about credit. We talk about when you submit your documents and you submit your tax returns, you not only submit the transcripts of your tax returns, but you also submit the copy of the W-2, the 1099s, the Social Security statement if your husband, your wife, it's retired. The government now wants to see tax transcripts. We already talked about the health insurance documents, the assets, the credit reports. Let's say you have a house, you own a house, you're going to have to submit the mortgage statements. You own more than one car, then your second car may be considered an asset. You may submit the title, the car title, and the paper from the Kelly Blue Book showing how much money the car is worth nowadays. The government is going to want to see if you know English and what is your level of education, if you have a skill or a trade. If you do, we're going to need to submit the diplomas of your English education, your skill education, your high school education, your university education. So all of those documents are important, and you should start looking for them, because whenever it's time to ask for your green card, you are going to need them. Okay? So as you can see, now applying for the green card, it's more like trying to buy a house. You have to submit all kinds of documents, but it's okay. We can do whatever we have to do, as long as after we do all of that, we obtain our green cards. So please make an effort. Start organizing your documents. Start preparing everything, because it is possible to obtain a green card nowadays, even with this new public charge regulation. We can handle it. We as immigrants can do it. Let me see if I find any questions in English. Like I said, today I am answering questions in English. And if you want me to answer your questions in Spanish, you can see us every day at 8:30 in the morning. Victor says, after got my cancellation removed, what is the step to follow this decision, and how long to get finished my adjustment of the status and need interview, or was the judge, or what's the judge give me in my court? So if the judge granted your cancellation of removal in court, then you are a legal permanent resident as of the day the judge granted your cancellation of removal. And it normally takes 2 to 3 months before you can make an appointment with the Office of Immigration through an InfoPass appointment, and for you to go and process your green card. So wait about 90 days, then make a phone call to the 1-800 number and tell them what happened, and they will give you the appointment. Marco says, I'm a widow. Do I have to file the form DS-5540 if I just waiting for the interview? Well, the Department of State has said that for those whose cases were closed at the NBC and sent to the embassy, the people should show up at the interview with their DS-5540 in case the officer will ask for it. They're not asking for everybody. They're asking in some instances. But personally, I am preparing DS-5540s for everybody who's going to the interviews. Hello, Hermosa. Thank you for la hermosa part. I'm just waiting for my interview. My petitioner makes more than enough to sponsor me. Do I still need to present this at interview in Ciudad Juárez? Yes. You still need to have it ready in case they ask for it. Eduardo says, I'm in the military. Thank you for your service, Eduardo. Thank you. My parents want to apply for parole in place, but will the public charge be taken into consideration now or after they apply for adjustment? Yes. The parents of military are subject to the public charge if they are getting the green card through the I-130 of the son. Yes. Hi, Ricardo. Thanks for being here. Let me see. Thanks to all of you who are writing your questions in English. I love it. As long as we have private medical insurance, then that's a good factor. Yes, private medical insurance is a very good factor. What is private medical insurance? It's medical insurance that has no subsidies, that either you are paying for it in full out of your pocket or you have it through your employer or the employer of your family member. One lawyer said to me that the public charge does not apply to military parents, but another lawyer told me it does. I'm confused. Well, the truth is, through the parents, it does. Through the only people where the benefits are not going to be taken into account are the wife and kids of active military. But if you are the parent of active military, the public charge applies. I hope that this eases your confusion. The second lawyer told you the right thing. Okay, let me see. How far back do they look, Michelle? 3 years. They go back 3 years. 3 years from the date you filed the documents. Not 3 years from the day of the interview. 3 years from the date you filed the documents. Lulu says, I qualify for parole in place, but I've been receiving Medicaid for my children. Should I apply now or wait the 3 years? Well, Lulu, I have to ask you many more questions before I can answer your question, because I don't know if you are, if your husband is an active military or reserve or not. If your husband is in active military, then the Medicaid shouldn't be a problem. If your husband is a veteran, then it's a different story. So talk to a lawyer in person. Do your process with a lawyer, okay? Well, thank you so much, guys, for being here today. I pray I will be with you in English next Monday. Please spread the word. Share the show with as many friends as you can, especially if you know that Spanish is not a strong language, and they will be much more comfortable doing their questions and listening to me in English. And so I thank you for your support and hope to see you next Monday. Bye.